Hello everyone, my name is Rado Barrientos, and for my persuasive speech, I'm going to be speaking on fixed versus growth mindset. To begin, I should apologize for the area. This is the best that I could do. This is what I could work with. Sorry. But to begin, when speaking on fixed versus growth mindset, it usually comes from a spot of someone having a fixed mindset wanting to transfer over to a growth one. So in order to do that, first of all, we need to establish what a fixed mindset is and why people tend to fall into those traps on occasions. Me included, which is why I feel I can maybe help you guys a little bit with this. But when talking about fixed mindset, we're mainly dealing with people where they're essentially scared to fail, or rather see failure as a negative rather than just a learning experience. So instead of saying that they attempted something, they failed it. So they put way too much weight on it, which in turn just makes it so much more difficult for one to achieve stuff with oneself, which is the important part, is just finding balance with oneself. So in having a fixed mindset, it makes it very very difficult for people to balance out their lifestyle and to just have a happy existence, essentially. Because the majority of people that have a fixed mindset tend to worry about stuff that they can't really control, or rather have an issue with control, where they feel that they need to control every aspect of whatever's involved in their life, where if they don't have it, they feel completely out of control and just lost, essentially. Now, while that may be a mindset that a lot of people are in, it isn't necessarily a positive one. And while it might be difficult to get out of that mindset, there are ways that one can do this. But now to begin, though, one first needs to identify what they're trying to do. So you can't just flip a switch and just automatically change who you are. That's not really how it works in this case. You need to identify stuff in yourself, whether that be it could be a plethora of reasons, whether that be you want to get more disciplined, or you want to help with your anger management, potentially. It could be whatever it may be. But you need to identify with yourself, and the most important part is you need to ask yourself why. Self-reflection, that realistically is what's going to get you over that leap of the mental toughness, where you need to ask yourself, why do you think this? All right, so just reflecting with yourself, analyzing yourself, and in turn just understanding yourself to a much higher extreme than the majority of people. But in order to get to that point, you need to first fail. All right, that's the one thing that everyone will have to deal with at some point, is failure. Now, while for a lot of us it could be kind of unbearable for that, because maybe you've set yourself up in a position, or you've woven a narrative for yourself where you can't fail, where maybe you think the only possible way for you to continue on is through essentially faking it till you make it, which for a lot of circumstances can be a valid way of going about it. But when it comes to yourself, you can't lie. You can't lie to yourself. You have to be honest with yourself, and you have to pretty much just understand where you're coming from. So the first part is you absolutely need to be honest with yourself. You need to identify your failures, right? And you need to identify, why do I think this way? Okay, why do I want to think this way? Why do I want to change? Okay, so you have to be self-reflective with yourself. You need to identify with yourself essentially what you like and what you don't like. And once you get that, it essentially really is just applying small goals. So whether that be just changing your relinquishing some control, potentially. So whether that be allowing someone else to help you with a task that normally you wouldn't trust other people with, because maybe you would say, oh, I could only get it done by myself, right? Only I know the proper way of doing it. But by simply relinquishing a little bit of that control to someone else, in a circumstance where the outcome wouldn't be horrendous if it had gone wrong, right? You're able to relinquish a little bit of control, and in turn learn how you would respond to that, right? That's the whole thing of a growth mindset, is just taking quote-unquote failures, right? Quote-unquote failures as realistically just learning experiences. Because the main difference between fixed and growth mindset for the majority of people, again, realistically, is just what you tell yourself, right? It's the mindset you're in. So by blocking yourself out to the rest of the world and just saying, I know what's right, I know what I can do. While that may make you feel more secure in who you are, it just simply isn't the way to approach our essentially just modern society from now on. You need to be open-minded, and not necessarily that you need to be. It will just benefit you greatly in the long run, because by having a closed-off, fixed mindset, while maybe you'll feel comfortable in the short term, you're essentially saying no to delayed gratification and rather just feeling pleasure in the moment, or rather just doing what's easy for you in the moment. So while that is a choice, you can absolutely do that. Again, it all begins with just asking yourself, why? Why do I want to stay like this, right? Do I want to change potentially? Why am I like this? Why do I want to change? It's just simply just self-reflection, just understanding who you are as a person and who you want to be as a person. Because the misconception that people have all the time is that you are born who you are. You can't change that, right? Well, necessarily, it just isn't really true. Well, the basis of who make you, whether that be nurture, yes, that does in a sense encapsulate who you are, but you're able to change it. It just all starts through mindset and just saying, I want to do this. So, do you want to do it? It's up to you guys. But that's been me, and I appreciate you listening.